Yo everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Cheeky Mo. I'm Cherokee Charles, the Cherokee that can see. Now, before we get into today's topic, I just want to take a moment to talk about what Cheeky Mo is all about. What is the Cheeky Mo channel all about? What is our purpose? Well, our purpose is to provide you with financial information about your future. And I feel it is my purpose. In fact, it is my obligation to pass on information to you that you were never taught in school. Now, I know all of this information, a lot of it anyway, that I pass on to you was never taught to me in school. And I have a master's degree in finance and accounting. And I was never taught this information. And in fact, I don't think this information is still is not being taught in schools today. So, armed with this information, you'll be able to make better financial decisions for yourself and for your family. Now, let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about today, the first tool that we use in our financial decision making is the internet. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how is the internet a financial tool? Well, here's how. I'm going to ask you this question. I bet you don't know that there have been different versions of the internet. And we're on the brink of version 3 of the internet. Now, let's go back and discuss what were the other two versions? What are they? To do that, let's go back to, say, around the early 90s, 1990s. Version 1 of the internet was pretty boring, pretty static. Users would use a modem and they would log on to the internet through the modem and a web page would come up, and all you'd really be able to do is to just read the web page. You couldn't interact with it, you couldn't ask questions, you couldn't post anything. It was just a static page with information that you had looked up, and it was there on the screen for you to read. And that pretty much was about it. That was Web 1.0. Now, with that, the mother of invention, people and users wanted more. They wanted to be able to interact with the internet. They wanted to be able to ask questions. If they read something on the internet that they fully didn't understand, they wanted to be able to ask questions about it. So up came version 2 of the internet, Web 2.0. Now with Web 2.0, as you know, which is what we use today, Web 2.0 allowed users to log onto the internet and we could interact. We could ask questions, we could post information, we could look at pictures, we could share information back and forth, we could open up accounts, we could do our business, we could do banking, we could do and still can do numerous things that Web 1.0 never allowed us to do. And up to this point, it's been great. I have no complaints about Web 2.0. There have been some downsides because there are hackers out there that will try and get at your information and get at your accounts and do this, all this kind of undercover illegal stuff. But for the most part, Web 2.0 has been light years beyond Web 1.0 and its abilities. Now, we're on the crux of Web 3.0, and this will be the third version of the internet. Now, what's going to be different about this third version that we didn't have with the second version? And to explain that, let me just sort of talk about what version 2.0 is. Now, for a user to log onto the internet, that access has been given to us by a few large corporations. And basically, what we've agreed to is if we want access to the internet, we have to go through these large corporations that give us access to the internet. Infinity, you can go shopping on Amazon, you can look up information on Google, but access to information has pretty much been funneled through a few large corporations. And as users, we gladly use these corporations to access the internet. But one thing that we also did by using these few corporations to access the internet is that we gave up a little bit of our privacy. And as you know, there's been lots and lots of talk and things going on about personal privacy. And they have promised not to sell or divulge our information and not to use it for anything that we don't want them to use it for. And to that, I say that's a bunch of baloney. Okay? These large corporations and the people that I call the people that are in charge have been collecting this information about us and utilizing this information to make money. And they have been making millions and millions and millions of dollars, in fact, billions of dollars, on information that they have collected from us, unbeknownst to us. And we have no knowledge of what information they have on us and what they've been doing with it, and how much they have made from each individual. Now, I'm not happy about that, and I don't like it. I don't like companies and corporations collecting information about me without my knowledge, and then using that information to make money for themselves. And I don't see a penny of it. I don't like that. So, here comes Web 3.0. Now, the difference between Web 2.0 and Web 3.0 is going to be the fact that all of this information about ourselves is not going to be going through any central processing company or corporation. It is now going to come back to us. As users, we will now be in charge of our own information. If we want to sell our information to some third-party company, we'll be able to do that. If we don't want to sell our information to some third-party company, we can do that too. If we want to get paid for information that we provide, we will be able to do that. And now, how will we be able to do that? We will be able to do that with what's called blockchain technology. Now, some of you may have heard about blockchain technology. It's new. It's still in its infancy and it's still developing. But what we're able to do now with blockchain technology, which is funded by cryptocurrency, we will be able to be in charge of our own information. No one company will be in charge. It will be disseminated back to us, the users. There's not going to be any country or any person or any corporation that's going to be in charge of this technology. The blockchain will be owned and operated by everyone. And everyone, each of us, will be able to decide what we want to do. That is the big difference between Web 3.0 and Web 2.0. Web 2.0 was very centralized. Information and access to information had to go through a central processing company or corporation. Web 3.0 comes back to us. With blockchain technology, information and processing of information is not held by any one central company or corporation. It is disseminated and it is owned by everyone. So no one corporation owns it. And that is the difference. Now, Web 3.0 is still in its infancy. It's still developing. And we will see what it's going to be like in the near future. So stay tuned. I'm sure you're going to hear a lot more about Web 3.0, and there's going to be a lot of talk about it. Now, the thing is that we don't want the large corporations and what I would refer to as controllers to try and get control of the blockchain. There are going to be attempts at it, but I think they're going to be futile attempts. They won't be able to get control of it because it's owned by the people. It's owned by everyone. And no one company or corporation will be able to control it. Governments may try, but believe me, they will fail. So, stay tuned. Cherokee Charles signing out. And as usual, I'll see you in the next one.